I've got all this stuff taking up space, but I don't want to be bothered with the hassle of having a garage sale. Well, why don't you call Reliable Resellers? Reliable Resellers? Yeah, Reliable Resellers. They buy all sorts of items from toys to jewelry to collectibles, and best of all, they come to you and pay in cash. Oh wow, how do I get in touch with them? Easy. Just call 813-421-5676 or go to their website, reliableresellers.net. I'm calling Reliable Resellers right now.
But I was an extra for Godzilla, the movie. I got enough credits to be a Screen Actors Guild extra. Waking Tracy Band. It was named after my wife because at 3 a.m, she would come in and say, "Can you please turn it down?" Our friends at the art gallery have a favorite word that they like to use called sweat equity. Mm-hmm. And if you start investing your own time in your own town, you can help grow it. And that's the reason for the page. If you're willing to hustle and stand behind your product, you should be able to sell a drowning man water. This town is networked in most businesses. If you need something, you just walk down to the next shop and they're going to help you out. That's what they do.
Yeah, man.
It's a very cool town.
Welcome to The Art of Business. I'm your host, Eric Baker. I sit down with entrepreneurs right here in Dade City and the surrounding areas to find out about their backgrounds, how they built their businesses, and what their secrets for success are. Today, I'm joined with Mr. Kevin Taggerty. Kevin is the founder and administrator of the Dade City Life Facebook page. He serves on the board of directors for the Dade City Center for the Arts, and he provides party entertainment services through his company, Aloha Kev. You can find the Dade City Life Facebook page at Dade City Life. You can find Aloha Kev on Facebook at Aloha Kev. And you can find the Dade City Center for the Arts at DadeCityArts.com. Kevin is a walking billboard for Dade City. He is very well versed in the history and traditions of the area. He is highly involved in the community, and he has an authentic passion for the city. He's built 2 Facebook pages, one of which has hundreds of followers. The other has thousands. He's a veteran, an entrepreneur, a DJ, an MC. He plays both the guitar and the harmonica. He's a wedding officiant, an actor, an entertainer, a game show host of Rockin' Bingo, and he is also on the board of directors for the Dade City Center for the Arts. He's a busy man, and we talk about all of it. But first, Kevin tells us about a secret little fishing spot called Diego Garcia.
One of the coolest places I've been, and very few people can go, is a place called Diego Garcia. And it's 8 degrees south of the equator. And Diego Garcia is in the middle of the Indian Ocean. And literally, you can just take a boat 10, 15 minutes off the dock, and you can be into huge mahi-mahi,
Really?
It's just unbelievable, the fish that they bring in. You can just bonefish off the shores, which people pay $400 or $500 for a few-hour fishing guide trip.
Yeah.
And just catch them on a bare hook and shrimp.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of great fishing out there, and it's an untapped resource because nobody can get to it.
Right on. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. So, Kevin, let's get started here, and let's get to know Kevin Taggerty a little bit. When you tell your story, it helps people, the listeners, to relate to you on that personal level a little bit. So I understand that you're from Miami. So tell us, what were you like as a kid? What did you want to be when you grow up? Where do you get your motivations? Give us the story of Mr. Kevin Taggerty.
It's I guess a pretty big story, but growing up as a kid, my dad was a cop. Mom always had a job working with travel timeshare type companies, and she worked for Eastern Airlines. And growing up as a kid, we, I guess, just kind of had to figure out our own fun. My dad wasn't into sports or anything. He loved the beach. So we definitely picked up a love for the beach side of things. But as a kid, when we're sitting at home, we had avocados growing in our yard, mangoes, and I'd pull my wagon, I'd climb up this avocado tree, probably 30, 40 feet.
Yeah.
It was an unusually long tree. And I'd sell, 3 for $1 back then out of my little wagon. I've tried selling rocks out of my wagon. That's like, I don't know who would buy it, but I guess you figure out what the customers need and what your want and desires are. And from there, school, I wasn't good in school. I was in a dropout prevention program.
Okay.
I'd rather go fishing than attend class.
Yeah.
And they put me in a vocational program. I was going to school with kids in a halfway house. And I think it's there when I pulled my head out of the posterior side.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I kind of rearranged my thought process and said, all right, what are you going to do? So I, through high school, I was able to get through a work experience program.
Okay.
And I had to attend every summer school program growing up through my childhood to make it.
Yeah.
I got through.
Yeah.
And that was enough to get me in the Air Force. So
awesome.
That was kind of like my easy plan out.
Gotcha.
I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I liked working with people and selling things. So.
Yeah. Right on. So when did you come up this way? When did you migrate north?
So I joined the Air Force and I did 23 years and 28 days. And we bounced around the world quite a bit. I did not come back to Florida. I got stationed here in 1999. So I came back to the Tampa Bay area, and then I was here for about 6 years, and then I got orders to England, and we did 4 years there. Went to Hawaii. From Hawaii, went to New Mexico, and then I retired out of New Mexico.
Oh, wow, okay.
Got to get back to Florida. So
yeah. Okay, right on.
What do you do after retirement?
Yeah, right.
So,
right. Okay.
My retirement covers my house notes, so I've got my medical taken care of, so it kind of gives me a little freedom to
yes, sir.
Explore waters with a little security.
Yeah, right. Okay, love it, man. All right, so now as we talked about a little bit before, so you serve on the board of directors for the Dade City Center for the Arts. Now, I pulled this directly from their website. They are a nonprofit organization whose mission is to bring the arts to our community and provide opportunities for artists to showcase their talents in Dade City through community outreach and collaboration with other local governments or other local groups and area businesses. DCCA commits to enhance the environment of Dade City through the arts and art events. Now, I was hoping you could maybe expand on that a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about what exactly DCCA is all about and give us sort of the history of how you got involved with them.
Okay, well, the organization has been around. The former mayor, Camilo Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
This program with a few others, it kind of dropped out the site for a year or two, and then it came back online, and is maybe just a new thought of, all right, how can we throw some things together to grow our city in the art and turn us into a more of a unique city, what sets us apart. So that's how I got involved with it. I'm always involved in the community some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And you just start meeting people, and through the good network, they're like, okay, we're looking for arts. We've done everything from paint hay bales to install these 14 metal hearts throughout town.
I've seen that, yeah.
If you haven't had a chance to do that, please, there's a trail you can go, Dade City Center for the Arts, can find out about the individual artists that did these, and you can learn a little bit about your community while you're walking around. You're like, wow,
yeah.
Look at this trail we're on. And,
yeah.
There's one in a POW camp. I don't know if you know, but Dade City used to house German POWs from Rommel's AFRICOM. We had 250 Nazi war criminals here, but we would send them to work, and they worked at the Cumber Mill. They work in the orange groves, the kumquats. They did the bricks in Brooksville.
Really?
So if you had construction or products, bricks or lumber, they used to make boxes. A lot of those Germans, once they experienced the taste of freedom in America, they fell in love with this, and they willingly, as prisoners, they could almost let them go out on their own and and they didn't cause any problems, but they built a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think is a huge learning lesson to, maybe start fighting for the good side. So
yeah,
a lot
right
of them
on.
end up coming back. But
Interesting.
anyway, one of our hearts is in that park, and you'll discover other things about Dade City.
Okay. That's awesome. That's really awesome. So, and I did see the hay bale painting that you were talking about.
Yes.
I did see the hearts. Are there any other events and things that you guys are doing?
Yes, so we do a hay bale that'll come around fall.
Okay.
We try to dress Dade City up, and Lucy, you'll see her around town. She's always, getting involved, and she wants to make sure things look nice for the community.
Mm-hmm.
And we just put a call out to local artists. Hey, who wants to paint hay bales?
Yeah.
We'll paint them up with a theme, a fall theme,
Mm-hmm.
and try to put a unique, flavorful look to our city.
Yeah.
And people definitely recognize, giant hay bale in the middle of things.
Yeah.
But as for the next project, we have an art mural project that we're going to be doing. So there is a wall right now we're looking at it off Meridian and 8th, and we're going to try to do a mural right there. That's all in works right now. We're
Okay.
soliciting local artists.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see how many folks in Dade City I want to help. I want to be part. I'll pressure wash it all, do the wall prep and everything. So
Yeah.
we have something cool coming down there.
Right on.
So the idea is to paint themes of Dade City life type, what's
Sure.
going on.
Sure.
Trails to the bikes to kumquats, oranges, whatever,
Yeah.
made our history.
Okay. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay. So now I also understand that you're a wedding officiant.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest, man. I had no idea what a wedding officiant was. So when I was doing my research for this interview, I looked it up. And frankly, I still don't fully understand it. I'm going to read you the definition that I found. A wedding officiant is any person who performs the role of officiating a legal marriage ceremony. Okay. Okay. Can you help me understand what a wedding officiant actually is?
Sure. Initially, friends of mine were getting married in 2004, so I became a notary so I could just, perform their wedding. As long as you're ordained minister or a notary in the state of Florida, you can legally bind a couple once their license is, you're the final signature.
Okay.
Is witness and makes decree or announcement that they are married, and then you just sign the paperwork.
Gotcha. Okay.
I've been doing that, since 2004. But since then, I don't know if a lot of folks know, but there's online churches now, and you can become a reverend just by submitting your name. But I went through Universal Life or Marriage Ministries, United Marriage Ministries or whatever. And
Yeah.
they just have a small little program you can go through and just learn a little bit about it, and they got a starter kit. So the cool idea is I enjoyed performing weddings. I like being part of that ceremony because if someone's close to you, why pay somebody to do it?
Yeah.
So I started making each one of my weddings more interactive with the couple and try to, each time we do a ceremony, I learn a little bit about the people and I put that into the story, and I try to capture that versus just doing a Las Vegas type wedding.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun. So with that, I offer a package. I DJ also. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll officiate and DJ your wedding. And,
Yeah.
I was doing these for $700 or something like that. I started out probably doing 300 or 400 or like, oh no, is that too much? Oh, $50, can you? And that's how you start. And you start learning, you got to put a price down. And
Sure,
like that.
sure.
But it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I've done crazy weddings. I've done a pajama wedding that took place in my living room. It was like a
Really?
no notice. When I was in the military, I had guys, and I said, hey, if you want to get married, I don't want to see you paying this money. I'll do the service for you. It's going to cost you a bottle of Jack Daniels, and that's so that's the running joke. But I've done wedding. We did it in Hawaii, where they're both divers, and we dove into the water afterwards, and they're
Yeah.
taking pictures like of that I do when they do their kiss underwater.
Yeah.
So
you traveled too. You went all the way to Hawaii
I
with
was
them.
stationed there.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
I was blessed to have 4 years in Hawaii.
Nice.
That PJ wedding that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
One of my guys came in, and it was the last minute. He literally, their kid was sitting in their car out front. I was like, why'd you bring the kid in? But I was an extra for Godzilla, the movie, and so we had all this sets.
Really?
They gave us all these flowers, and so we provided the Godzilla set flowers, you know, like, and everything that we had.
How did you, to sidetrack a little, so you were an extra? How did
I got enough credits to be a Screen Actors Guild extra.
No way.
And I was in Mad Men and Godzilla. Now, whether or not you can see my face is a different story.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of cool.
Which episodes were there?
So there was I think it was, I'm going to say the third, where they go to Hawaii for Mad Men.
Okay.
Where they do the Hawaii theme.
Yeah.
And that was about I think it's almost a 2-hour show, that one. And I worked with Jason Hamm and Jessica Puri. And I mean, cool thing about being an extra is they pay you more to smoke cigarettes. Well, you can't smoke legally in it while it, you know, like they can't make you smoke. But they'll pay you a quarter and they have these, like, I guess it's floor sweepings or like some type of chopped up grass or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no tobacco in it, but it's a tobacco-free cigarette.
Huh.
And, one day on set, I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes on a 12-hour shift.
Yeah. Just chain smoking them.
Yeah. But they want it because it's taking place in the 60s, you know, and we're like in a bar scene. You know,
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like these 2 drunk guys, and I can play that part well.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Right. That's okay. Awesome, man. That's really, I had no idea. I didn't find that about you when I was researching.
There's all kinds of crazy stuff, man. But that was an interesting gig.
Right on. Awesome. So, okay. So you also run an entertainment business, Aloha Kev Entertainment, Aloha Kev. Now, and so you mentioned before that you're a DJ, so and also an MC. So I wanted to talk to you because I DJed a little bit when I was younger. When did you start DJing?
Here in Wesley Chapel, and that's kind of a funny story. Used to be called Winners, then it became City Grill in Wesley Chapel, and I lived in Wesley Chapel. So I play guitar, and I was just doing, like, you know, sunset hour, happy hour music. I played just fun songs. I'm not a guitarist, I'm an entertainer. So I just, hey, let's have some fun. We're going to sing all songs and crack jokes and drink beer, and we're going to have, you know, get you through this show. Well,
try to get up in that mic a little bit, man.
Yeah. It was Friday. It was a Friday night, and he had me filling in, and so it's supposed to be a full band. So I went on break, and I started playing music, and the girls came up, started dancing. He said, Kevin, put your guitar away. Do that the rest of the night.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've always enjoyed just playing music at parties and things. So I took off on it, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm like 5 nights a week I'm doing some type of show or a DJ or a wedding or something. But
that is
it's really
awesome.
Opened a lot of cool doors.
What kind of setup do you have? Is it?
I run Bose. I've got a L1 is the first one that I got. Now I got the new. It's a 32. It's an expensive system, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear the sound clarity come out of your speakers, it's definitely it's day and night. And
Sure.
If something sounds like it's coming out of a coffee can, might make the night go out early. But when it sounds like a live performance, it's good stuff.
What kind of all music, any kinds?
I do everything. I do a lot of. I find myself here in Florida. I do a lot of Latin.
Yep.
So whether it's salsa, merengue, cumbia, old school Latin jazz.
Yeah.
Country is my love. I love old rock. I love blues.
Yeah, yeah.
Folk, funk, and then you get me into the 70s Motown, and that just melts my heart. I have a lot of fun with. So I try to mix it up because I have to be at every one of my shows, so I have to listen to the music. So I try to keep it fresh to my audience.
Yeah.
But I have to be there too, so I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not doing another country night. Tonight we're going to mix it up.
Yeah.
So last night we did hair bands, you know.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. And so you're also an MC.
Yeah, well,
Do you sing, rap? Like, what is it? What do you?
no, with MC, and it's just so if there is an event, like we have the garden club, I always volunteer with them, and we'll do like the annual event is we have the Butterfly Festival, and that takes place at the garden club, and I'll play music, but then we discuss, hey, this is going on, and you just keep the party rolling on schedule. That's all it is. But,
Gotcha. Okay.
that's all MCing is.
Gotcha. Right on. Okay. Now you also play the guitar and the harmonica. When did you start doing those?
I got my granddad used to have a drawer with all these old harmonicas, and he passed away when I was 3. But Grandma if we were good, we could go in Granddad's drawer, and so he might have magic tricks or harmonicas. So I pulled one of these harmonicas out, and I was really just mesmerized by how this little metal thing can make so much sound.
Yeah.
And it made me happy. So told you I wasn't very good in school, and a lot of times I wound up having to walk home from schools that I was in a remote school.
Sure.
And I'd just put it in my pocket, and I'd sit in blues bars in Coconut Grove in Miami, sitting in the side alley, Fleet Starbuck blues bands playing away, and I'm trying to play along with them.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
That's kind of how that started. So when I joined the Air Force, I didn't have anyone to play guitar with. So I saw Neil Young. I was like, oh, he's got this neck brace. That's cool. And Bob Dylan. And maybe I can get a guitar. So I learned a few chords. I learned them in high school, but I started putting the two together. In the Air Force. And that's in itself, you can really network with a lot of good folks. And you have a guitar and a harmonica and bottle of booze, you can set up a party anywhere.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Do you ever play in a band?
Yeah. We had the Waking Tracy band.
Waking Tracy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was named after my wife because at 3 a.m, she would come in and say, "Can you please turn it down?" She's pregnant at the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But we were a bunch of grown men acting like 16-year-old high school kids. It was interesting. So we named the band Waking Tracy. But
okay,
we got to do a lot of fun stuff, and it's neat. Got to bounce around the world in the Air Force a lot. So we would bring the guitar and harmonica and just sit down in an English pub or something like that. And it's kind of fun to sit and see the reactions of
Did you ever have lessons, or could you just pick up and just start playing?
Like I said, I'm an entertainer, so I just whatever I could learn just through basic chords.
Yeah. Wow.
Irish Shores piano music. This guy taught me basic piano, and then he had something that taught basic chords or something like that, and that's how I started. Okay. It's very easy. If you go to YouTube and you want to play guitar, learn 3 chords, you can do 1,000,000 songs.
Okay. Right on. Okay. All right, man. Let's talk about Rockin' Bingo a little bit.
Sure.
I watched the video on your Facebook page, sort of like an advertisement for the Rockin' Bingo that you have. And man, that bingo board that you have looks insane. What did you build it? Is it a custom?
Yeah.
What all is? I seen all the lights and everything, but what all is on that board?
So it's to get attraction. It's you want to have something that's fun to look at.
Yeah.
Not a boring bingo. Bingo in itself, I would rather kind of slit my wrist, take a bullet than have to sit through grandma's bingo.
Yeah.
And when I told you I was doing that open mic, that was at Wesley Chapel O'Brien's. And they said, hey, you're DJing. I was doing a Thursday DJ night. And it's a ladies' night that they're trying to get folks to dance to, but on a Thursday night, you're not going to get a late night party with people working Friday. So
sure.
They said, let's do bingo. And I said, let's not. Well, they said, no, we want to do it. So I bounced around to 7, 8 different bingos, starting with the Moose, or not the Moose, the Eagles, church bingos, Hamburger Mary's, which is this drag queen bingo. If you've ever seen that, that's a pretty crazy show. But
it's a good time.
Just looking at the different bingos, you could see the ones that were exciting, and you could see that there's a lot of people that take bingo serious. Like, you better not be there messing up or calling a fake bingo, or they'll take you out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I wound up putting all these ideas together.
Okay.
And we put music behind it. I said we're going to have lights and fun things to look at and kind of make it visually entertaining.
Yeah.
And that's where we at. I buy all my prizes. We used the old daubers. We used the paper cards. Some people use these little plastic chips that get thrown everywhere. Some folks use the slide cards. I think people like the old school bingo dauber idea.
Yeah.
And it's very colorful, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm going, I think, 4 years now into this.
Really?
And
wow.
That in itself has enabled me to come off working my regular job, which I work for a behavioral health hospital in Tampa. And I do fleet management down there, and that's going to, I've been trying to leave, and they're like, well, we can't find anyone. Can you just stay on? So I've stayed on, but anyway, it's,
okay.
That bingo board in itself has really kind of helped me to pack everything up and take my show and make it a little easier.
Yeah, man, right on. What's some of the craziest, do the Rockin' Bingo events get wild? Like, what are some of the craziest things that's ever happened at a Rockin' Bingo event?
Well, I just had my 50th birthday at O'Brien's, and that's another story in itself. But let's just say I had a good time. I was 10. That was a really, and it's, what do? We do fundraisers. I've had people, we've raised a lot of money for whether it's a kids event or something. So, but anyway, like when they need money to help, and it's a great time. And it's easy, and it's easy to the person attending, because if you told me, hey, you're going to bingo tonight for a fun, can I just donate?
Yeah.
But you can win great prizes. It's really, there's good music behind it, even if you don't play people. I've had people dancing.
Yeah.
We do. Bingo.
Right on, man. Okay, awesome. All right, now this portion of the show is sponsored by Reliable Resellers. Reliable Resellers are based out of Tampa, Florida, one of the largest and fastest growing cities in the country. With their well-established eBay store and local auction house connections, they provide a hassle-free and profitable way to downsize your life. If you're thinking of downsizing, call the pros at Reliable Resellers. 813-421-5676, or visit them online at reliableresellers.net. All right, so let's start talking now about the Dade City Life Facebook page. Now, you run at least two pages that I've been able to find that have thousands of followers combined. You have your at Aloha Kev for the entertainment business, which is close to 1,000. And then you have the Dade City Life page, which is close to 5,000 followers. Man, the grind is real. The hustle is real. I have immense respect for someone who is able to build a brand and a following like you have on two different pages. It's not an easy thing to do.
It's very hard.
It's extremely difficult to do. I want to focus on Dade City Life, though. So you created the Dade City Life page back in December of 2017. And the page is described as a one-stop shop to what's going on in Dade City. They exist to promote a community of unity. I love that. Can like we did sort of before, can you talk about the Dade City Life Facebook page? Tell us what it's all about and give us a little bit of the history of how you started that page.
All right. So we used to have a newspaper, and in absence of our newspaper, even when we did have a paper, it was hard to find events just with a click. So the one-stop shop type scenario is, okay, hey, what's going on? If you click on it today, I mentioned about where tomorrow morning from Kennedy Space Center, you can watch a rocket launch. The Falcon 9's going up.
Yeah.
You're going to launch 54 Starlink communication satellite. You can watch that from Dade City. It's a morning launch, and the sun's going to still be set. About 10 minutes, the sun will be coming up, but it should go off before the sun rises. And if you haven't witnessed that, that's something very cool. So you can find different events whether it's a museum hosting a function or we're having a street bash or the Merchants Association puts something together, Dade City Center for the Arts put up a new project.
Yep.
It lets you know whether you're a church, a business, someone's hosting a kickball game. I don't care. We're not there to badmouth businesses or it's just what's available.
Yes, sir.
And the people can decide what they want to do.
Yes, sir.
And it's been a unique following because a lot of folks will say, hey, well, I learned about it on this page. And I'm like, wow, okay, so it's getting some outreach. So getting 5,000 followers was very difficult, but each one of those is more of a local centralized. It's not like you just send it out and have everyone click on it.
Yeah.
That is a local community following.
Yes, sir.
So I even got my snowbirds locked into this thing, so it's kind of cool to have that. And it's been a good voice to help advertise, to grow our town. The reason for the page and lack of a newspaper, we were walking downtown. I live right in downtown. And I looked at all the newspapers in the windows of shut down businesses, and it was sad. And I'm like, well, what can we do to kind of grow our city? And our friends at the art gallery have a favorite word that they like to use called sweat equity. And if you start investing your own time in your own town, you can help grow it. And that's the reason for the page.
Sure.
So if there's a new restaurant in town and you're looking for some good grub, hopefully we can tell you about it. And it's a cool gig because a lot of times they'll say, hey, we're opening up, you want to come in? And, whether it's a new bank in town or whatever, it's very cool, and it's a great way to network.
Absolutely. 100%. Do you remember how long it took you to get your first 1,000 followers? You remember?
Maybe it's close to a year.
A year?
I remember I was like, I thought this would just grow up. It seems like Twitter didn't have any problem getting their people. And I was like, wow, this is a lot more than what I thought. And when you're doing a volunteer thing, you're just starting out, but you find yourself 3 and 4 days, a week just putting into it. And then when you slack off, it really shows.
Yes. Yeah, sure. So how has the page evolved over the years? Has it sort of been always the same, promote local businesses, or were you maybe doing something different in the beginning? And
I don't go outside of Dade City. This is just our town. If there's an event that affects Dade City or it can help, like maybe Busch Gardens is offering free veterans admission or something like that, or teachers get, things like that. A cool thing coming down is this whole tax break coming down. They just signed into a law a bunch of tax breaks. So you can go on that page and hopefully it can save you thousands of bucks through the years, just learning about how to buy things tax-free. Now,
where are you so I follow your page quite religiously, actually. And where do you find, so a lot of the stuff that you post, like the tax stuff, like are you just constantly reading news stuff and yourself and just reposting the stuff that's relevant to Dade City?
Exactly. And I follow, I'll follow your page or I'll follow other folks. And if there's something going on, maybe I saw you're interviewed with Prelude Academy or you can even reach out to me and say, hey, will you post this? But a lot of times it's just right in town. I hear it by word of mouth. I'm riding my bike in town and I'm snapping pictures.
Yeah.
And I'm following what you guys are doing. And if it's going on, email me, text me, call me, or Facebook message me. The page is not open to just anybody because I don't want to have the duck cleaning, scam or whatever that.
Yeah.
You'll see this over and over
yes,
and over.
Yes.
Not saying anything about that, but I'm sure that's a needed requirement. I'm not bad-mouthing those guys, but I'm just saying there's some opportunities to get spam that just continues over and over.
Yeah.
We don't want to have spam. We want to just learn about our community and keep it responsible.
Yeah. So what do you like the most and what do you like the least about running a wildly successful page like you have?
I appreciate that. I don't even, I think it's helpful. I don't even know about wildly successful. I would like to get there. I'm just always wanting to grow into that. sweat equity is important.
Yes, sir.
When I was eating at a Matter of Taste, and the guy had the Farmer's Almanac on the table. You flip the book over, and it says on the very last page, advice for life: be useful. Right? So
Love
if
it.
we're not being part of our community and helping it grow, then
Yeah.
you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
And that's basically all. I don't know how I see success in it, but I'd like to grow it even more and
Sure.
turn it into something really cool. I've got hats for sale, and just kind of like, it's
Yeah.
more of a mindset. You know,
Yeah.
like they say, why do you wear Hawaiian shirts all the time? I like to live my aloha. I
Yeah,
like to
man.
live how I feel inside. You know, just let it. Same thing.
Yeah.
If you can put something out to help the community, just
Yeah.
do it and leave it at that.
Yeah, I got it. Love
Let
it,
grow
man.
on its own.
Is it a lot of work to maintain the page? Is it do you have people to help moderate, or is
My daughter
is it
does.
just you?
Okay. But there are a few folks that I put in town, but normally they're too busy running their own pages.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. I'm always like, why don't you guys just post it? You know, after we built a relationship with somebody or something, I'm saying, okay, yeah, you guys post that, or because that's a great community option. We need to know these things, but I'm not always there because I do work. I
Yeah.
work in Tampa.
Yes, sir.
And trying to balance that between bingo or weddings, officiating, or DJing, it does become. But having a phone
Yeah.
makes life easy.
Yeah.
You're-
No doubt. Okay, so man, I've done a handful of interviews here now on the podcast, and I've had at least 2 people mention your Facebook page directly. So Mary Catherine Mason of Lanky Lassies. When I interviewed her, she was saying that how when she first was taking her shortbread business to a full-time gig, that she noticed how you would post a lot. You had thousands of followers. So she reached out to you and asked if you would make a post for her. You made a post for her, and it really helped her business. So I sort of followed in her footsteps. When I had my website created for the podcast, I had the first 3 episodes out, and I was trying to find a way to get the word out. I said, well, let me reach out to Dade City Life and see if he would do the same for me. Okay. And you did. You posted a couple of links for me, and I have to say, as soon as you did that, I seen a huge spike in website traffic and downloads of the podcast. So I have to assume that you are aware of, in that regard, the power of your Facebook page.
I'm glad to hear that. I mean, that really, Mary Catherine, I saw her story on a news channel, and I reached out. I don't know how it happened, but I saw something maybe on Facebook, and I said, well, I want to try this shortbread.
Yeah.
So I
good.
drove to her house.
Oh, no
and
way.
She's baking. She made that in her home.
Yes,
like
sir. Yes, sir.
You know, if there's a definition of like the one-legged person in a butt-kicking contest, you know,
Yeah.
The hustlers get successful.
Yes.
You know, if you hustle, but I think just through that, we posted some things that might have helped her out. But I was also able to talk to her. I said, you know, we got the Pasco Community Kitchen, the EDC.
Yes, sir.
Dan Mitchell, if you don't know this guy,
yes, sir.
Linked up. That's a great resource. He can help you get small business loans, figure out your business plan, where you want to grow. And then they do seminars throughout the year. And it's just a wonderful time. Again, the network.
Yeah.
But you can get cool ideas and meet folks in your community
Yeah.
to help.
Yep.
And I looked, she just had her 1-year anniversary, I think. And they were able to get her, you know, she's got her business going, and it seems wildly successful.
Yeah.
You know,
and you played a part in helping her get there. I mean, as
I hope so. That's the
at least from the advertising piece, anyway.
Yeah,
and so I looked at the services tab on your Facebook page, and it does look like you offer some advertising services through Dade City Life, like a video, like a 30-minute video or something. Maybe I'm quoting that.
All I'll do is for you. You know, if you have something or you want to advertise, you're more than welcome to do that. And that's all. I'm just saying, I will advertise your business, or I'll come down, I'll snap pictures of your maybe you're doing a grand opening or a reopening, or you just want to kick up your customer base.
Yeah,
we can help do that. I enjoy doing it. and that's why that's on there.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
however,
I see.
Yeah.
So do you have any plans to offer any paid advertising through you guys? I mean, with the reach that you have and the amount of traffic your page is able to generate for people, I would imagine you could have some paid advertising service. Do you have any future plans?
The goal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was the goal.
Okay.
I guess what life gets in the way.
Yes.
And
yeah. Yes, sir.
But right now I enjoy. Dade City was kind of going, I thought, through a rough time. You know, it seemed like everything north of Meridian was not open, kind of closed when I started this. And it's kind of like a behind the scenes north of Meridian campaign. We're going to grow these businesses over here and try to help them out. And it was just an opportunity to go out and say, all right, we're going to focus on this area now. But once that brewery came in, you know, Fat Rick Cycles, he does great jobs on bikes. They make great beer over there. Now you got a good combination. Now you got Prelude Academies.
Yep.
Out of Our Hands Gallery has been there as a staple.
Yeah.
You know? But a lot of businesses have come and gone. You've seen paper in the windows for a long time. It's time to change that.
Yeah.
So if I can get money doing it and somebody has good expertise, I'd have to network into that.
Sure.
But I enjoy doing it as it is right now.
Right on. So any future plans for Dade's the page, or just kind of take it as it comes and kind of go with the flow?
It's unfolding as it is, and it's just
right on.
kind of fun to
Yeah.
watch. Like I said, I wanted to do like the Dade City Lifeline. So, you know, you got stickers, you know, hats, shirts, whatever.
Yeah.
If you've seen Florida Coastal Print,
Yes.
they're a phenomenal.
They made this shirt that I'm wearing. Yeah.
See, that's a perfect example of a good networked city.
Yeah.
And they have the most creative ideas. So Randy and Heather are always down there hustling.
Yeah.
And I said, can you make me something cool? So she did all these different designs for me. And that's our community.
Yeah.
If you want to meet a unique dynamic of business partners, come to Dade City.
Right on, yeah.
We just had the creamery open. And I went down there and did a little visit. Like, all right, tell me about what's going on and what you're... And they came to Dade City just wanting to get out of their city to find something new and start a new chapter in life. So
Yeah.
they talked to the realtor, that like, what's available and what do you guys need? They wanted to do coffee, but she said, well, we need ice cream. You know, can you?
Yeah.
So they wound up going to ice cream school, learn how to make their own ice cream. They make all their own. This is at the creamery.
Yeah.
They make all their own cones, and then next thing you know, they're up and they're beating down the doors. I mean, they're trying to pull the door off the hinges when they're locked. But when I walked in there, they acknowledged. They said, "I have never seen a city like just everyone's so helpful. It's almost like, why are you guys doing this?"
Yeah.
If you watch the street bash, you can watch everybody. They just kind of kick in and do their things.
Yeah.
Whether it's the stroll or sweat equity. This town is networked in most businesses. If you need something, you just walk down to the next shop and they're going to help you out.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah, man.
It's a very cool town.
Yeah, man. So this is and you've probably just answered it, but I ask everybody this question because I just want to hear you talk about it. Why Dade City? So you have Dade City life. So what is it about Dade City that made you settle down here, create Dade City life, and just what do you love about the city?
I'm born and raised Miami, Florida. Right?
Yes, sir.
So that's home. I've seen South. I've seen overgrowth. Don't like it. Had to get out. Joined the Air Force. 23 years later, I was able to bounce around to a lot of countries. I think 37, maybe. I'm not sure. I've seen a lot, and you determine, okay, this is what I want. This is not acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere we looked, my wife's from up north, but I was like, I'd really like to get to Florida. She agreed on that. So she wanted more of a northern type theme. We have rolling mountains, hills here.
Mm-hmm.
We have trees.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have overgrowth. You don't have to wait in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So these were all things, but just learning about the kumquat, our history. Samuel Pasco in itself is just, he's a really cool guy. I mean, we live in Pasco County, but nobody knows about his history. But, he's a Civil War POW. He came down from up north, was a senator here. He helped build the Panama Canal. He was a very big, I think Wilson appointed him to, Francis Dade, who is this guy? Here we have this war hero, I guess, for the Union at the time. They were ambushed, and they said, hey, we need you to walk from Tampa up to Ocala, which is the Fort King Road. That was the only way they could transit during the Seminole Indian Wars, and they were ambushed and killed. But all these neat little stories and tidbits of our town, it has a history. It's got the unique environment. From the kumquat to being the orange capital. We invented concentrate orange juice during the World War. We have a lot of cool stuff just in that.
Yeah.
Then you look at our little town where everybody knows everyone, the little brick streets. We need to get that back. We need to keep it on track. We need to clean some things up, but that's what makes it great.
Yeah, right on. Okay. So now, since I've started, so I have a YouTube channel for my resale company. I have some Facebook pages, and as we talked about earlier, man, I understand how hard it is to build a brand and grow an audience and create that following. And you've created 2 Facebook pages with combined thousands of followers, man. So what are some of your tips and tricks for building a successful Facebook page?
Plug your page whenever you can. So when you're behind a mic, Dade City Life, like us on Facebook, please.
Yeah.
It can help you out, and you can help me out. We're going to, scratch each other's backs in that regard.
Yeah.
So last night, and I was doing bingo at one of my shows, and I'll say, hey, thanks for coming. We'll be back. Check out my schedule. If you want to find out more fun things to do in the area, go to, Aloha Kev in that cases.
Sure.
But when I walk into the businesses, I was like, have you heard of Dade City Life? And try to always promote that. If you have a business card, they still ask for it. A lot of people are, just exchange it on the phone. People want that card. I don't know what it is, but they will beat you down. And if you think I'm lying, wait till you run out of business cards.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you don't have a card?
Yeah. But gotcha.
It's that I think that's, and for your page, like for Dade City Life, I regulate everything that goes on there just to be strictly for what the motto of, to be that super center to make Dade City awesome, like help us grow. Anything that's submitted that doesn't do that is not growing your page in that right way. So
right.
I don't want to, I know people have bad experiences and there's horrible things that happen, or you're not happy with the state of the government or what. That's not that page for that.
Gotcha.
And I think kind of keeping an eye on that really helps. Whether or not, your personal page or whatever, that's where you let everything else go.
Yeah. So you're moderating the content. You're making sure that it's good, positive, upbeat content about Dade City that's being posted. You're keeping all the political and religious commentary and all the other personal opinion type stuff over here. Sure. And you're just keeping it a fun place to go about Dade City where people can go and get information. And everywhere you're going, you're passing out business cards. You're telling people about the page, and then just organically it just grows.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
That's good description.
Okay. Now, Kevin, if you were advising a young entertainer, artist, musician, DJ, somebody who's trying to break into the field, trying to maybe do sort of what you're doing, maybe not the rock and bingo thing, but a young, say, entrepreneur, what would be some tips and tricks that you would give to that person? Maybe some small pieces of advice that you had wished people had given you when you were first starting.
All right. So, and I was asking you earlier, I was like, well, why do you do what you do?
Yes, sir.
And you left a very comfortable position to pursue this because this is something you wanted to do.
Yes, sir.
You have to jump off the bridge.
Yeah.
And people are afraid to take that plunge.
Yeah.
So, if you're willing to hustle and stand behind your product, you should be able to sell a drowning man water.
Yeah.
If you believe in yourself and your product.
Yep.
So with that being said, you're going to grow. Failure is part of your success. If it fails, it's going to fail. And you're going to have some really rough times. I've got my own family members that live in a comfort zone. And they're like, no, you need stability. You should just get a 9-to-5 job. Set every 2 weeks, that paycheck's guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Well, I did that for 23 years. I wore my name on my shirt and always told what to do. Mm-hmm. I want to try something new. And I love being able to be your own boss. Yeah. Sometimes I have an argument and I don't like him that day. But sometimes he slacks off and should be doing other, focused on the business. Yeah. But that's the unique side of it. So if I were to tell these kids, start now. Yeah. If, whether you're going to sell phone cases or pitch your musical product, as long as you believe in it and it's something that community or your customers need, give it to them. Yeah. Yeah. And try to respect and understand where your customers are coming from and be there,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Love it, man. Now, as I've mentioned multiple times here, man, you have a lot of stuff going on. Do you do any like yoga, meditation, exercise? I mean, like, so how you come across as a really grounded guy? Like you see, so how do you? You're human, so obviously you have to have these thoughts of self-doubt and disbelief that we all have. So, man, how do you deal with the overall pressure of everything and just not let it eat you alive?
You got to have a hobby. You got to have God.
Yes.
So these are two things. A friend of mine told me a saying. And this guy's story is really cool. But his motto is reach in, reach out, reach up. And if you can follow these three things, that helps you get through. And it's not just business. It's anything in life.
Yes, sir.
So Trevor Romaine, he now writes children's books, and he writes comics, and he does motivational speaker for kids. Mm-hmm. He was dyslexic, and his teacher told him, Trevor, give me that paper. He was drawing something while class was going on, and she held up the paper, and she's making fun of, look at him. While we're learning about math, Trevor's over here drawing pictures. Trevor, would you like to just, show what's your artwork about? Why is this so important? Yeah. And he told her, well, that's a receipt. And you're talking about, she didn't know that he was dyslexic. And so he would draw pictures of the lesson. And that's where he picked up his art content. She said, if you keep doing this, failure is destined for your future, and this is what he was left with. Wow. He sent her 17 copies of his last books that he made. Yeah. He didn't forget her, but he learned a valuable lesson from her. So reach in, reach out, reach up. But I fish, I craft, I sell things in town. I've got I work with horseshoe nails and I make jewelry out of horseshoe nails and art figures out of silverware. Okay. Antique, silverware, and those are available. And
well, talk about that a little bit. Where can people find those?
I've got the art gallery, Antiques on Main, but I do a horseshoe nail cross. I custom make those for people. I haven't done as much because of my schedule. Yeah. But I also do these, it's a balancing kinetic piece. It's made out of horseshoe nails. Okay. And he's a fisherman. Yeah. And I'll post it on a Facebook page. Perfect. If you guys want to see it. But it's a balancing fisherman. If there's a fisherman in your life. Yeah. And it stands about this 10 inches tall. Okay. And he rocks back and forth. And he's got a fishing rod coming out. And below is a fish on the bottom. So you knock him and it just... center balance.
That looks cool.
It's just one of those kinetic pieces. But okay, I'm always into just tinkering around stuff.
Right on.
I did a bench for Dade City Center for the Arts. There's a giant heart bench downtown. I don't know if you've seen it along by Green Door on 8th and Meridian.
I may have.
There's big wooden bench with a hanging heart, and that's to honor Dade City is the heart of Pasco, and that's why we did all the hearts around town and things like that. But get art in your life, get music in your life. That really helps relieve all the stress.
I agree.
You top that in with some God on there.
Yeah.
You got a recipe for success. Everything will be good.
Right on. So, man, any good books you're reading right now? Any podcast you're listening to? Anything like that?
That's a good question. My wife always beats me up because I don't read books.
Yeah, sure.
I go into personal pages and I'm historical pages. Like right now, I'm really involved with the just like I loved Yellowstone. Now I'm following the Florida Keys and like Henry Flagler and his railroad getting down to Key West. You talk about a guy that just had like a vision, and he stopped at nothing to get it. You know, he just, I'm going to build a railroad down to Key West, 90 miles off Cuba. There's no way, sir. You cannot get through the mosquitoes and the swamps. And that's a really cool kind of thing that I'm in. But I just kind of follow history. I like to read up on government, world politics, and local politics. But, as for businesses and things, I definitely, I just zoom into who looks good. And I love clicking on their content. I love watching your podcasts. I think that's so cool that you can find something that this is what's going to put us on the map. You're going to learn about some basics of our town you'll never find anywhere else. Right. And that's really cool that you're doing things like that. So, thanks. Yeah, dive around, go everywhere. Read humor.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Boston News is the best humor.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man. So, I mean, we're going to start winding things down a little bit here. Are there any topics that we didn't cover? Are there any topics that we did cover that you want to talk a little bit more about? I mean, just anything at all.
I would like to, if anybody's looking to move or is living in this area, you're like, oh, he's a new guy in town or whatever. It's very important that you become a part of your community. I know folks that are here for 5 generations. Some don't even really venture out of Florida. I mean, their families just stayed here. And that's, you can be just as part of your community as someone that's been here for 5 generations. Like once you become part of it, it really has a different flavor. And, just whether you need a tree cut down or your car breaks down or you need your kid picked up from school. It's so cool having that. And I really love all of our businesses. I think we're getting a really cool flavor of mixes in here. I'd like to see our downtown city streets grow. If you've been to Winter Garden, have you ever been down there?
Have not yet anyway.
Towards Orlando.
Oh, yes. I thought you were making something here in Dade, like a little section of Dade City. Okay, I gotcha.
So just heading down 50 towards Orlando.
Yeah, I've been there.
They're a bypass city, just like Dade City. 301 bypasses our town, and we just come up 7th. Winter Garden, really, they took their 100-year-old city that was complete shutdown. They got their streets back. They got medians with trees and flowers, and they really put the brick streets back in. They really cleaned it up, and they put a really cool flavor on it. And it's becoming a walking town. We have that potential right now. That's another, I don't know if I said that when you asked earlier about what's cool about Dade City. That is, I'd love to see that. And just being able to see, we had the Spoke open.
Bicycle
place. Their first market was this Sunday. And they had music out there. We jumped on our bikes. We went down the trail. I've got a dog trailer. I put my cooler and the chairs on, and we took a couple people and we just went down. And caravan. That was the coolest thing, just sitting in the park, not doing anything, just watching and chit-chatting with local folks. So a lot of good business potentials coming in, too. For restaurants. We need restaurants in Dade City. I would love to see Thai, Indian food. I'd love to see, I know we've got, good Cuban sandwiches all around, but it'd be nice to have a good Latin cafe. 24/7 mom and pop type breakfast joint would be just beyond like, whoa, this is great.
Yeah, yeah.
The pubs close down at 11 or 12, whatever, and you can just go and get a breakfast and walk home. We're like a European city. Everything is so close, but I'd like to see some of that. I'd like to see our main street. I'm not bad-mouthing any businesses, but I would like to see more retail and restaurant type business versus, we can have attorneys or title companies and stuff, much needed.
Yeah.
But on the main drag, it'd be kind of cool to focus that to the, hey kids, let's go for a walk.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's really growing. So I don't know. I'm very blessed to be part of this town, and I love what you guys do. I really do.
Yeah, I can tell you, whenever you talk about Dade City, man, your face just, pow, it lights up. I can tell, you're passionate about it for sure.
Yeah, from, we got the nonprofit orgs, we got the Kiwanis, the Rotary, you got the museums. This all has potential to just take off. Yeah. And I like our little idea of the park. I like this splash park theme, hey, bring the kids out or whatever, and let them run around, and you can grab a brew and sit and listen to live music. You can, we're going to be like a wedding hub here in Dade City. Okay. The Garden Club, they have some of the best rates. That's where I perform a lot of my wedding services.
Okay.
And you can just come here and have so much bang for your buck.
Yeah.
And spend it on your, honeymoon or something, think of Dade City.
It's growing around here too. There's a lot of construction and stuff is happening out this way.
But 250,000 people. We have 250,000 people coming. Just south of Dade City right now, there's going to be, it's going to be upwards of 120,000 to 150,000 people between Dade City and Zephyr Hills and a little further west.
Really?
Yes.
When's that supposed to happen?
What's it? The Villages of Pasadena.
Okay.
I think that's what it's called. But
gotcha.
This all in the books, and if you follow the county has a lot of their approved growth coming in. Dade City has a chance to annex things. We're required by law. If something like touches our city, then and it grows into a real estate, we annex, or we can vote not to annex it. But if we annex, then we can tax. But right now we're watching this growth go all around us, and a lot of people are seeing beautiful houses or beautiful land destroyed, their view by houses. So how do you protect that? So I would ask whoever's in government now is that we do this responsibly. We know it's coming, but how do you protect that now? And it's like a 20-year plan. You got to have the vision. Like, no, we're not going to do these condensed housing. Don't destroy this area.
Right.
Let's have pristine, reserved places, because if we don't watch out for our city, who else will? Yeah. Or not even our city, our county, this whole area. But it's going to go straight up to Ridge Manor.
So when are you running for commissioner?
I would rather just kind of help and be part of working with them.
Yes, sir.
But I definitely make my points known. I know there's a lot of homeowners out there that have been generationally living here, and they don't want to see this happen.
Yeah,
they don't.
I've heard some things said. Yeah.
It's a point. Like, it's very, very serious issue when you start getting into somebody that's going to have generational land that their grandparents established, and you just gotta stare at 2,000-3,000 homes. Yeah. It's coming.
Yeah. Right. Right.
That's a sad part. So.
Yeah. I mean, opportunity comes as well, but it's at the same time, I do understand where they're coming from. I totally get it.
Yeah, I wish there's a magic number, but Florida's growing so fast.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
I remember when our numbers were 13 million. I think we're like 21 or 23 million or something. Maybe close to 30 now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But It's
Yeah, Tampa's one of the fastest growing cities in not just Florida, but the entire country. For whatever reason, Tampa, people are migrating to Tampa in droves. And I guess because Tampa's getting so big, they're coming out a little bit into the outer sort of suburb type areas. And Dade City, I guess, is sort of maybe one of those. Kind of what I'm sort of thinking anyway.
And lastly, if anybody wants to get involved, there's art opportunities. There's great organizations to take part in.
Yeah.
And our schools need help. The kids need help.
Yes, sir.
There's veteran organizations. I just met a guy, learned of a guy's story. It's going to be called Honor Ride, I think it is.
Okay.
And he's a local guy converting a Humvee into like a hearse to take like a fallen soldier.
Yes, sir.
And to the veterans cemetery.
Yes, sir.
And this is like really cool. These are our people doing these things. We've got new restaurants coming in Zephyr Hills, but they're setting up their food shops and tents. Keep it coming.
Right on. All right, Kevin. So we'll end this here with what I call my 3 quick question round.
Yes, sir.
So question number 1, how would you define the word entrepreneur?
Okay, so you need to make money, and you need to figure out what you're going to sell, and you need to do it passionately. So an entrepreneur would be somebody that provides a service or a product that is needed and does it with care.
Yes, sir.
Does it responsibly and provides it at a fair price and good quality.
Love it. Question number 2, how would you define the word success?
Something you're always aiming for. It's in the ether. It's out there.
Yeah.
You just got to get there and just keep. It's like finding your magnetic north. Just keep walking.
Yeah.
And you're going to achieve a level of success. Hopefully. I don't know if you ever hit it. Because you can always grow.
Yeah.
And always keep that idea. So, yeah, just keep it in your sights and start walking.
Yes, sir. Question number 3, how would you define the word happiness?
Enjoy the day. It might not come tomorrow. If you don't take advantage of what we have right now, you can't be happy. If you have live your dash, that's very important. Happiness, God, that's a hard one to answer, but you have to do what you love, and tomorrow's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
Happiness, take care of each other, and
Yes, sir.
if you don't have God in your life, get God in your life.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
know who God may be to you. It might be different answers, but when you learn how small you are and you have someone to pray to every night, things get better. Happiness comes with that.
Yes, sir.
Let bad things go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I love that. All right, Kevin. So how can people find you? So we've talked about some of your websites and the social media stuff, but plug it all again. Any different events, any rock and bingo stuff you have coming up, just plug all your stuff. And how can people find you?
I'll be at the Dade City VFW 4283. I'm doing bingo tonight. About 5 nights a week I have a show. I'm all throughout the Tampa Bay area from Plant City, Land Lakes to here. You can find me on Dade City Life or Aloha Kev.
On Facebook.
On Facebook, yep. And that's another thing. I'm not plugging in all these other Instagram. I think my Instagram's linked, but I don't do all the other social media forums. I've focused on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it still works pretty good.
Yeah.
But you can reach me through there, and if there's any questions you have, you can email me. My number's on there. Give me a call, and I'll help you out if I can.
Awesome. Right on. Well, Mr. Kevin Taggerty, man, thanks. This has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed this conversation. And everyone else, thanks a lot for tuning in. If you've enjoyed the show, then just please share it around so others can join in as well. The best way for new listeners to find the show is for our current listeners to talk about us. So give us a like, drop us a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm your host, Eric Baker, and this has been another episode of The Art of Business. Bye for now.